Hey awesome people, my name is Jayce. So we're finally back with this type of content, and it's been a year since the last one. It's time for me to tell you some stories that will kind of freak you out. And these stories that I'll be sharing with you guys are the haunted places in the Philippines. My name is Jayce Mars, and this is my Halloween special. It's Halloween. It's the second Halloween of the pandemic, and I'm still here to share you guys some stuff that will freak you out. First, before we start, I just want to say that my point of doing this video is to give you guys information about some certain places here in the Philippines. And scaring you guys is actually not the point of this video. Well, I mean, sort of. For this Halloween special, grab a popcorn, grab something to eat, and put your brains out, because we're gonna be talking about 5 haunted places here in the Philippines. We're gonna be discussing about the history of the places and the people who have passed away. Are you guys ready? Because I am ready. Let's go. Mythical creatures and urban legends has been part of the Philippine folklore. Terrifying stories about tikbalang, duwende, kapre, aswang, manananggal, and other creatures have scared a lot of Filipinos in their childhood, especially white ladies. They were never out of the conversation. The most popular white lady that most people know is the one who resides in the vicinity of a place called Benilde Drive. A street located between Aurora Boulevard and Rodriguez Avenue in Metro Manila. It's a simple street lined with commercial establishments and ancestral mansions. You wouldn't think that this place can make anyone shudder in fear, since this place has a lot of bright streetlights. But during the early days, the street was lined with giant balete trees that made the place look haunted. In the Philippine culture, balete trees are regarded as home for mysterious creatures, and elders used to warn children not to play around the trees for fear of disturbing the mysterious creatures. The stories of the lady in white either appearing out of nowhere, floating while crossing the street, sometimes appearing in the rear view mirror, or sitting back on someone's car. Many versions of the story has surfaced, and each one is different. But the question here is, who is that mysterious being? Who is that white lady everyone's talking about that roams around Benilde Drive? Another version claims that a lady used to live in one of the old mansions along Benilde Drive was murdered by her own family and now appears on the street to seek help. Some actually says she's a real person who got killed by a hit-and-run case. No one clearly knows which story is accurate, but each version says the same. The white lady is beautiful, but she has this blood-stained and bruised face, and she appears out of nowhere and disappears into thin air, all just a few seconds. The white lady has made a huge impact in the Filipino scare culture that even directors Galiaga and Lori Reyes made the horror film Hiwaga sa Balete in 1988. My personal opinion about this is I've been hearing this a lot as well, especially when I was a kid. Like, especially when we passed by Benilde Drive. I don't remember passing by Benilde Drive, but the thing is, when I was a kid, I used to be with my uncles and with my mom whenever they go somewhere, and they would say, "Oh, Jayce, nasa Benilde Drive tayo. Do you know about Benilde Drive? Blah, 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 blah." And they were like, "It's scary. There's a white lady that shows up here." Yeah, I've been actually hearing this a lot, especially when my friends and I talk about a lot of ghost stuff. Benilde Drive would always be part of the conversation, specifically the white lady that shows up. This story might be real or not. We should include the girl from Benilde Drive in our prayers. Now let's proceed with the next haunted place that is located here in the Philippines, specifically in Alabang. You know where ATC is, you know where Star Mall is. Yes, it's the Star Mall, Alabang. Now you might be thinking, why is this mall haunted? Because, simple, this used to be a cemetery. Most of the buried bodies were transferred to a different cemetery. Some were just remained buried in the mall. I don't know, maybe some doesn't have any family members anymore, so they might just have forgotten that a family member was buried there. And now for the creepy story. A couple entered inside the mall cinema, and they had a hard time looking for vacant seats. And the reason why they couldn't find any good seats in the cinema is that because the cinema is fully packed with people, and it took them a while to find a good seat. But they ended up finding good seats after like a couple of minutes. And when the movie's about to start, the lights turned off. The movie has finished and the cinema lights are on once again. And they notice something really weird. The theater isn't actually full of people, and they both started worrying. Another story from the mall's security guard. His assigned schedule is the mall's closing schedule, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And he has encountered a lot of paranormal stuff, considering that it's his fourth day of work. There's this one time that the security guard would hear people laughing in the cinemas during the closing hours. He has checked inside the cinemas and apparently no one was there. No one is inside. Same goes with the students who would watch movies in Star Mall Alabang. They would kind of like encounter the same thing. Like they would just see a ghost girl walking by. They would hear random whispers. They would see a ghost girl standing near the exit door. Whew. And now for my personal opinion about this is, my mom and my uncles have been telling me about Star Mall Alabang as well. Because every single year we go to Laguna for a reunion and we always pass by Star Mall Alabang. It was actually a normal looking mall on the outside, but I actually haven't been on the inside. Especially a place that used to be a cemetery, it's automatically gonna be haunted. I've never been there and I don't think I will ever go there. Now let's proceed with the next haunted place that is located here in the Philippines. You always get to see this weird, it's actually not that weird, but this gigantic old building. And that is Manila Film Center. And actually it's considered to be one of the most haunted places here in the Philippines. The Manila Film Center is known for a construction accident that occurred on November 17, 1981, where more than 100 construction workers fell from the collapsed scaffolding and were buried in cement. It is believed that the construction workers were buried on purpose because of a search and rescue procedure, or even just the retrieval of the dead bodies will take a long time and it will delay the construction of the building. Some individuals who have visited the building reported wailing sounds and screams. They would hear screams of suffering men, believed to be from those who were buried alive. To know more about that tragedy, I actually went there a few years ago, 2 years ago I think. And I personally went there to witness it myself. I'll put the link in the description box below for you guys to see it, and also right here, Manila Film Center. It's actually almost 12 a.m. Yeah, it's actually 12:03. And what a perfect time for me to tell stories like this. And right in front of me is a computer. And actually I'm watching Blackpink while telling you these stories. You know, it's 12 a.m. and I'm all by myself right now and you know, no, let's not talk about it. The next haunted place that we'll be discussing about is also considered a haunted place in Manila. It is the one and only Manila City Hall. If you haven't seen this is actually near the National Museum. No, it's not actually near. It's actually like across National Museum. Actually, many people have pointed out that the City Hall is shaped like a coffin when viewed from above. Also, rumors that at 6 p.m. every day, spirits starts to roam around the City Hall. The building was built and inaugurated in 1941 but was destroyed in 1945 because of the war. It was rebuilt in 1946 and it was prominently known for its large clock tower. I actually knew this a long time ago from watching TV when I was a kid. I remember that. I was in Cavite. I was in my cousin's house and we were watching TV. It's also like the Halloween season. And I actually haven't been in Manila City Hall as well. Considering that it was destroyed before and they just rebuilt it. And I would assume people have died there because of the war. Maybe. Okay, we have been talking about a lot of haunted places here in Manila. So I decided to move a little further. Can we talk about ghosts outside Metro Manila? Well, let's talk about Baguio. Baguio is considered as the summer capital of the Philippines because people would go there to relax, to feel the coldness, to go to the parks. And also Baguio is known for the festivals, for strawberries, strawberry jams, including a horrifying building with a brutal past, the Diplomat Hotel. Its current name is the Dominican Heritage Hill and Nature Park. Originally was a retreat house for Dominican priests and nuns from 1915 until the World War II. The Japanese occupied the property during the war and used it to commit despicable acts, including torture, rape, and murder. It turned into a hotel after the war, and word soon spread about the paranormal happenings in the building. Sightings of white ladies, headless priests, and a child. So those are the top 5 horrifying buildings and places here in the Philippines. I know there's actually more to talk about, like the White House in Baguio. I think it's the Lateral House, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but let's save those for future content. I would love to hear your thoughts about those places. The Manila City Hall, Manila Film Center, Diplomat Hotel, Balete Drive, and Star Mall Alabang. Please tell me your thoughts about it down there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.